for Liverpool, who were not at their best, a single point gap between them and the top of the league must now feel deliciously surmountable. This must be a dream for a Liverpool fan because they now know that it is there for them. Liverpool took their chance. Crystal Palace left the door just a little bit ajar and Liverpool steamrolled through it. That is a sign of champions. That is what champions do. They get a glimpse and they take their opportunity, and that is what they've done tonight. They weren't particularly good. They probably didn't deserve the win at the Emirates, but they secured it. You've got to think that where they were 12 points behind, and now it is a measly 1 point separating Liverpool and the top of the league. And it's all because Liverpool take their opportunities. And on the other hand, they've got to talk about Arsenal. Arsenal had an opportunity tonight and they didn't take it. Arsenal were the better team. If Odegaard scores that chance, we are probably now talking about Man City being at the top of the league, being clear, and Arsenal guaranteed in the Champions League places. But it wasn't to be. Arsenal didn't take their opportunity. They played well. I think they can find a lot of solace in the way that they played the game. I think they should be very proud of their form over the past 5 games. 5 wins on the spin is not to be sniffed at. And losing to Liverpool, there is no shame in that whatsoever. But it was there for them. Arsenal were the better side and they didn't take the opportunity. That chance that Odegaard missed is so significant because within 8 minutes, both Jota and Firmino have made Odegaard regret it. That is a difference. That is what happens when you're playing with the very elite. When you are playing against the top tier, that is what happens. There is so much jeopardy. You get an opportunity, you take it. And that is what Liverpool have done. That is what Liverpool have done. And that is why tonight is actually a brilliant 3 points for Liverpool. It is a huge 3 points because you have to factor in that they were so out of sorts in that first half. And yet they came on so strong. They found their form. They found their rhythm. And you could see at the end of the game there, when they were celebrating with their fans, they were going potty. You could feel it. You could hear the songs about winning the league. Liverpool fans, that's the first time I've heard it. I don't know if they've been singing it already, but that is the first time I've heard Liverpool fans singing about winning the league this season. It's a moment, and you could see Jurgen Klopp doing his punches. I saw 3. I saw 3 serious punches into the air, celebrating those moments, beating the liver bird on his chest. He knows he's on the precipice of something truly special. He knows that he is chasing an unprecedented quadruple, and he knows that the Premier League title is there for the taking. It's not going to be easy, but winning games like this away from home at the Emirates is why they could do it. This is why they could do it. And winning games when it's not going their own way. You know, they were just about to sub Diogo Jota, weren't they? You could see that they were just about to sub him, and then, bang, changes the game. You know, ultimately they subbed him anyway, and then this is what happens when you're that good. They subbed him anyway, and then the geezer who came on and replaced him scored as well. But that's what it is. But as much as the match winners will be Jota and Firmino, and I'm going to come on to talk about Firmino in great detail because he's a player I admire so highly. Do you know who else deserves? He deserves his moment, a serious accolade from tonight's game. It's Alisson. What a mention he deserves. That stunning save against Odegaard. And that was just before Jota opens scoring. That is as significant as anything that Jota did or as significant as anything that Firmino did. Alisson's save there, it's actually a season-defining save. I truly mean that. I think that save from Alisson should go down as a season-defining save. When people do a history of this season, when people do the glorious moments of this season and where the season turns, where the league was won, look no further than Odegaard versus Alisson. Alisson has potentially won his team the league tonight. I truly believe that is a season-defining moment, a season-defining save. He had no right to save it. Odegaard must have believed that he scored, but he hadn't, and all of a sudden his team were 2-0 down off the back of it. And that is why they're so good. That is why they're so special. And that is why Bobby Firmino is just right up there for me. You know, when people discuss Liverpool's front line, the front 3, people are quite flippant, aren't they? They say, one will have to go and this one will move on and we'll get rid of this one and we'll bring in this one and whatever. People quite easily forget how good certain players have been over half a decade. They start thinking about the new. Out with the old, in with the new is the mentality. People start telling you, Jota's better than Firmino. And that isn't the conversation I'm having here. But the conversation I'm having is, let's remember quite how good Bobby Firmino is. Truly sensational football player. A football player who I have dreamed of having up front for Chelsea. When Alvaro Morata was up front for Chelsea, I remember looking at the Liverpool team thinking, Bobby Firmino is everything I want Morata to be. Everything. And he's still doing it. And he's still popping up with big goals. And tonight, when he came on, he took over from Luis Diaz. Now, if you believe the reports and you're into kind of a modern recency bias, Luis Diaz is the best thing since sliced bread, and it's time for Firmino to go. And that may well become true. But as of today, Roberto Firmino is just top class. And having him in their team is what makes them such a potent threat. If they get to a Champions League final, I truly believe Bobby Firmino starts. And, Luis Diaz was quiet, really quiet. Roberto Firmino settled the game. That is what he can do. That is who he is. And he is a sensational football player, a player that will live long in the history of Liverpool Football Club and somebody that can contribute massively to their season. How this now goes, I do not know, but it is going to be intense. It is going to be exciting. And Liverpool will now believe that they can win the league. This is there for them. It is in their hands. They have everything that they would hope. They have all the utensils. This team that Klopp has built is as good and as strong as anything that Klopp has built in his history. This team, this Liverpool team, is better than the team that won the European Cup in 2019. It is better than the team that won the Premier League in 2020. This is Klopp's most perfect vision. Do you agree with me? I'm going to actually link to this point in the comments because I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on that. Do you agree with me? Is what I just said true? Is this team the best iteration of Jurgen Klopp? I truly believe that it is. For Arsenal, they'll be disappointed. And in that first half, they were the better team. They can find their positives. There was a relentless first half press from them, and they deserve more from the game. I don't think this one will bother them too much because they've still got a couple of games in hand on Manchester United, and it is in their hands. And whether they make the Champions League or not, it won't be decided by how they get on against Liverpool. It's what happens in the previous 5 games that we've seen where they've got the wins and what happens next. How do they bounce back from this? They shouldn't be disheartened. They shouldn't be down about this. They actually did themselves and their fans proud. Big night of football. I have loved it. I've had a glorious day. I've been at Cheltenham and I've sat on my sofa and watched loads of football. It has been splendid. Thank you so much for joining me for these reviews. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like. Please click subscribe. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Ta-da.